are back for another Talk About It Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of 2019. So I want to wish you a happy new year. Hope you had a great holiday season, but it's time to get back down to business. And I want to start it off by reiterating what financial freedom is. This is the whole purpose of the group. This is the whole purpose of Insiders Group, to be able to share the things that you'll need to be financially free. But I think sometimes we forget what financial freedom is and the urgency for it. See, it's easy to come up with the technical definition, meaning your passive income meets or exceeds your expenses, so you're financially free. But there's a whole lot more to freedom than how you derive your income. What are we talking about freedom from? We're talking about freedom from exchanging the most valuable resources you have, your time and your energy, for money. We're talking about freedom from going to a job that you hate every single day. We're talking about freedom from the dependency of a paycheck that doesn't change every 2 weeks. We're talking about the freedom from the stress of figuring out how you're going to get by every single month. We're talking about the freedom from trying to figure out how you're going to pay down this debt. The financial freedom I'm talking about gives you the freedom to explore the world and create a life of your design, not to be subjected to settling for a life that you can afford based on your measly paycheck. And some of you think that you have time, and you really don't. None of us are promised tomorrow. We know that. But most of us have been raised on what I call a life deferred enjoyment plan. And I was raised that way. My parents lived that. And so I'm going to share a very personal story with you as to why you need to start right now. It should be one of your, what do you call those things? I don't even create these things. New Year's resolutions. Yeah, I don't even create New Year's resolutions. I just live this way. But if you do New Year's resolutions, one of your New Year's resolutions has to be making progress towards financial freedom. And I'll explain why. If you are currently on the Life Deferred Enjoyment Plan, let me explain to you what that is. My parents were raised to sacrifice. Sacrifice, 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 work hard, put a little aside, and eventually you'll be able to live a life that you can enjoy when you retire. And I'm gonna have to tell you a little bit about my parents. So my parents, like I said, worked really hard all their lives. My parents were actually from a very small town, came to New York City to make a better life for themselves, had 4 children, raised us all, sacrificed, 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 and had a plan that they were going to save, 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 and then they were going to retire, and then they were going to live this life that they had planned out on paper, that they were going to take cruises and travel and just have a great ending story to their lives. And interesting enough, my mother retired after a long career of working for the city, and a year later she passed away. And my father actually retired a year after her, and he had these plans. His whole world got turned upside down. He expected to have 2 incomes to live off of. Suddenly he had 1 income. He expected to be able to travel the world with my mother and finally get to spend the time with her that he didn't get to spend all the years that they were married, and he found himself suddenly alone. And what happened was he lost a desire to do all the things that he waited to do. He was going to travel. He didn't want to travel anymore. They were going to go out and have fun. He didn't want to do any of those things anymore. So his whole world got turned upside down because he waited. My father and I actually retired the same year because I decided I wasn't going to wait. He retired 29 years older than me. I was 36 at the time, and he was 29 years older than me. We retired the exact same year because I made a decision, a conscious decision, that I was never going to work for somebody and have to live a lifestyle that was based on whatever they chose to give me, that I was going to make my own way in this world, that I was going to get my time back. I was going to get my energy back. I was going to get the freedom to live the life that I wanted to do. If I want to travel, I travel. If I want to do whatever, go out to dinner, I go out to dinner. If I want to take a day off, if I want to take a week off, I take a week off. And I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to worry about my bills being paid. And that's what I want for you. And I want to be able to share that with you. So it's really important that you participate in the group, that you commit to taking some steps forward, that you send in those questions on Mondays, that you email me, that you follow and comment on everything that I do so that I can work hard for you, because I believe that freedom is your right. You don't have to work for somebody. You don't have to struggle, and you don't have to give away the best years of your life now and try to defer enjoyment for later, when you won't be feeling so good when you're older. You might not have somebody to travel with like my father, and you might be gone. So make a commitment this year, financial freedom. Make a commitment to taking the steps. That means utilizing the resources and the network that you have. I'm going to be highlighting some people on this platform this year, because I want you to realize that it is doable, and there are some people in the group who started out just like you, who are super successful now, and they're super humble. So I'm going to kind of call them out. I want to do maybe some live interviews with them, so you guys can ask them questions and see how their journey was too. And I'm going to have a ton of new things. I got a great team. I have an apprentice program. I have a great team. I have some returning people. I have some new people. I have some great ideas. And 2019 is going to be the year that I help you get to where you deserve to be, and that's financially free. So send those questions in, make that commitment, and I will see you next week.